Hello, everyone, and I'm Kathy Brackbill, APS Director of Education, and welcome to APS Talks from the Sales Department. Let me introduce the speaker for this session. It's Wendy Mazzorti, APS Director of Sales. Before we get started, I'd like to go over a few items so that you know how to participate in today's session. Your microphone should be muted and should remain that way throughout the presentation. If you have a question, please type it at any time in the chat box. These questions will be read to Wendy at the end of her presentation. In order to facilitate the next virtual stamp show session, we will be concluding this session right around 2:55. This session is being recorded and will be made available to attendees at a later time. I would now like to introduce Wendy Mazzorti.
Hi folks, as Kathy said, my name is Wendy Mazzorti. I am the director of the APS sales unit, where we provide services to our members to buy and sell through the mail and online. So if you're in search of items to add to your collection, or if you have duplicates to sell, we can certainly help you. Today I'm going to give a brief recap of our mail and online services. I'm going to introduce you to our staff, and then I'm going to guide you to show you a little bit of on the internet, on the website, where you can find additional information on our buying and selling. So we're going to start out with through the mail circuit sales. As a buyer, you can receive stamps delivered right to your home, where you can examine the items before you make your purchases. As you can see on the screen, there are some books here in the background. So when you receive these books, they normally come in a priority package, just a little priority box. It has about 12 books in. Again, you can lift the stamps, check out the back, see if there's any hinging or thins. You really have a hands-on experience to decide what you want to purchase, and then mail on what you don't. We have over 150 collecting categories that you can select from. We have over 27,000 sales books in inventory. And we do receive about 1,000 to 2,000 new books each month from our sellers. So there is fresh inventory available all the time. The prices in the books range from about 10 cents to $500. And these circuits offer our members perfect opportunities to sell their duplicates or their cheaper priced material grouped into these category books. We currently have about 1,700 members who participate in these circuit books, and we certainly invite you to try it out as well if you would like. With the COVID pandemic, of course, the shows being canceled, this is a great way to actually have a hands-on experience with shopping. So you might want to check this out. Next, we're going to take a look at our online sales, which at StampStore.org, we offer over 300,000 items available for sale from our members. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee on all items purchased. When you're placing orders, you're actually ordering from many, many sellers, and it all arrives in one package. We also offer some advanced online searches. Our orders ship the next business day. And our sellers have online access to their inventory where they can see what's selling. They can see if items are being referred over to advertising. They can change their prices and different things like that. We currently have about 430 active sellers, and we continue to add new sellers all the time. Recently, we've added some stamp show dealers who, of course, normally do just shows, but now with COVID, they have canceled the shows. So we have a lot of dealers that are looking to get online quickly. So the StampStore is here to help anyone that is interested. For the show sellers, what's interesting for them is that we can get them uploaded pretty quickly because the dealers actually have the what do I want to say? They're the sales pages or the little cards that they sell from that already have the material mounted. Here I can show you an image of one. We have a seller who just sent in his pages that he literally just took out of his red binder that he normally takes to a show. He took out some of his pages. He included a batch cover sheet with it. As you can see from this image, those little pages already have the information that we need, so he wasn't required to recomplete all the information on our sales forms. We could just attach those sheets to our sales forms and get him up and running pretty fast. So if you're a dealer that has these types of little pages or cards, you might want to feel free to give me a call and we can see if we can get you online pretty quickly. So for full information, I invite you to visit stamps.org/buy and sell. Here in a minute, we're going to take a look at that page. We'll flip over to the internet and we'll look at some of that just so you make sure you can find out how all the information on buying and selling. But first, I wanted to take a moment to introduce our staff, our sales team, so that members can have a face to put with those who's working hard for you or somebody that you're speaking with on the staff all the time. These folks have many tasks, and obviously I'm not going to be able to sit and go through absolutely everything that each one of them do, but I will give just a brief what each one does. And also note at this point with the pandemic, we have many of us are working still remotely. We have some working in the office. So to get started, of course, across the top row, myself, of course, I'm the Director of Sales. We have Carol Hoffman, who has been working the front line for the APS at the APC during most of the COVID pandemic. She oversees the circuit operations, and during these times, she has picked up a lot of additional tasks to help cover what cannot be done remotely by the rest of the staff. We've got Bill Dixon, who is currently back in the office working hard to get these circuits back out in circulation, as well as getting some of the club mailings going again for those clubs that are now holding meetings once again. We've got Ruth Ann Mays, who currently works remotely to process all the returning circuits. She verifies all the purchases made in the books. She literally goes through about 2,000 books each week, documenting the purchases. We've got Barb Johnson, who currently works remotely. She scans all of our StampStore images. She scans thousands per week. Across the bottom row, we've got Sharon Shawley and Steph Frankhauser, who work in our StampStore. They have worked very hard over the last few months to get caught up on all the back orders that we had from when the building had to be closed. The building is up and back up over there, and we have those two in, and they are filling orders every day and pulling lots and lots of items that are being ordered. We then have Darlene Young. She is working remotely, typing the new StampStore submissions, making sure we are adding new items to the StampStore daily. We've got Mary Walliser, who is our mailroom manager, but as of late, she also has been working remotely to help enter these StampStore submissions. And then last but not least, we have Dennis Gilson, who is one of our regular volunteers. He helps us to answer StampStore questions and helps us with his philatelic knowledge, helping identify misdescriptions and different things. That's pretty much our staff in a nutshell. We've all not worked together now for a few months and often only see each other occasionally out in the parking lot when we have pickups and drop-offs for work. So things have definitely been different for us through the pandemic, but we continue to work hard and work well together as a team. So don't hesitate to contact us if you need any help at all with buying and selling. And as promised, I'm going to switch over to the internet, where I just wanted to show you that from our homepage, if you're visiting StampStore at www.stamps.org, if you want to see information about buying and selling, if you scroll over the Services tab, second one down is Buy and Sell. And once there, then you can click off to, if you see here on the one side is the home delivery mail sales, where it tells you all about that the mail sales is for members only, while on the other side, online sales, all buyers can be from anywhere and don't have to be necessarily members. Of course, sellers do. But under each one of these, you can click on, for instance, how to buy home delivery. If you go on here, it's going to give you the simple steps. You select your areas of interest, you get assigned to the multiple circuits, and it gives you the brief. And if you click on any of these, it gives you specific details under each to get started. That's pretty much for each of these, how to sell with the circuits. It's going to give you a brief, purchase your supplies, prepare and submit items, and each one of these open up, giving you additional details. And of course, the same for how to buy online and how to sell online. Then, of course, to locate the StampStore itself, if you scroll over the Shop tab across the top, the StampStore Online is there where you can begin performing searches and start making some purchases. At this point, we can open it up and see if anybody has any questions. I was very brief about just kind of describing a little bit what we did, but we can certainly answer any questions. And I invite anyone to visit the internet or feel free to contact us at any time and we'll help you as much as we can.
Well, Wendy, in the chat box, the first question asks, do you need to join APS first to shop in the store?
To shop online at the APS store at stamps.org, no, you do not. You do not have to be a member. Now, you do have to get yourself set up with a user account. Pretty much, basically, with anywhere that you go to shop online, you have to have yourself a little user account. And once you have that user account, you don't have to be a member. But non-members on the StampStore, you do get charged a 10% higher charge and pay some additional shipping fees. So you will save if you join, actually. If you join, you're going to end up saving over time. So I would recommend joining, but you don't have to.
The next question is, for circuit sales, do you have to have a stamp with your initials and APS number, or can you just write that information?
And just write it. We recommend the little stampers to help identify your purchases, which is usually the person's initials and their APS number on it. It makes it nicer and cleaner, but it is not mandatory. If you get the circuit books, you can identify your purchases with just your initials, or you jot down your APS number on each spot that you're purchasing out of, and we can take care of it.
And the next question, for the stamp store, have you ever thought of having mint and used stamps separated?
Mint and used stamps separate. Well, on the StampStore, they can be separated by your search. Like, for instance, on this screen, if I'm searching United States, I don't know, 50 to 75, if I only want to see the used or unused, if under the condition, you can select that you wish to see only unused. And during that search, then you would see only the unused. I hope that's what the individual is asking.
All right, here's another question. For selling, am I sending my material to APS to take photos and post, or do I take photos and post directly?
No, when you're selling on StampStore, we pretty much do all the work for you. We have submission sheets. And again, I would fully recommend going over to the one page where all this information is described, or you can contact us. We can send you a seller packet. But basically what happens is there is a submission sheet for each item that you're selling. You complete that submission sheet with some basic information, your country, your Scott catalog number, is the item hinged, never hinged, is it used, unused, is it, the catalog price and selling price. You send those in to us then, you mount your stamp right on that sheet, you send those in to us, we do the scanning, we upload the information, we put it out online for you, we fill all the orders, we do advertising, we take care of all the questions. Basically, it's hassle-free selling for our members.
Someone says they believe they had joined some kind of free account to look around a while back. Does that count as having an account?
Seller accounts are completely free. I'm a little confused by that question, but all it is a user account is what I guess what I'm saying. Just to get around and look around on our website, you have to have a user account, which there is no charge just to have a user account to be able to purchase on the StampStore, because you do not have to be a member to purchase on StampStore.
And do you sell the little initial / number stamps, hand stamps?
No, we do not sell those. But again, if you go, we're going to take you back over here under services, buy and sell. If you look on how to buy through the mail, there is some information here. One of the items, one of the 6 steps is to purchase a rubber stamp, which again, it says here is not required. There actually is a link over to what's called discount rubber stamps. And at one point, I would need to check and make sure they still sell them for $6.99. It's been a little bit since I put that information out there, but there are discounted rubber stamps that you can go out and get. As long as they're 1 inch by 1 inch, you can pick those up usually from anywhere between $7, maybe $10 to get them mailed to you. But again, there is discount rubber stamps, which there's a link there, but we don't sell those.
And this is a rephrase of the Mint used questions.
Okay.
There's concern that some lots have both Mint and used stamps in the same lot.
Oh, yeah, that does happen. And we strongly suggest to our sellers that they describe it appropriately so that people understand that, you know, even though the checkbox for unused is checked off, they really need to put in their description that sometimes they do also include a few items in with the set that might be used, but they really need to make sure that they put that in the description. And again, as a buyer, if you ever receive anything that you're like, you know what, I don't really recall, I really thought it was going to be unused, you do have the full 30 days that you may return for any reason. You're more than welcome. You just get a hold of us, initiate a return merchandise authorization with us, and you can return the item and get a full refund for it. So if you ever get anything that's not quite right, or you just change your mind about this, not a problem. Just let us know.
And the last question that's in the box right now inquires as to whether books are sold through this system.
Books sold, are they, do you mean the circuit books? That's what I meant. Okay. Circuit books are not sold online. We do not do purchases of books. Obviously, they're the home delivery. But if they're asking, do we sell books through the StampStore, like philatelic books? We do not. Initially, when we launched the StampStore, we did try selling some philatelic literature on there. That did not go real great, and it was a little difficult to try to figure out how we were going to sign all the postage that would be charged and everything. So we do not sell it on there, but I know that the library does have clearance books that they help to sell. So you may want to contact the library if you are looking to sell some philatelic books.
So a few more questions have come in. In the search engine that you showed, can one check both used and unused?
Used and unused. Actually, if you just select all, you see the screen I'm on, under condition, if you just let it at all, you'll see all of them. But of course, you're also going to see covers. Yeah, so if I just left that at all and didn't put anything there, it is actually going to show me, and it may take a little bit, it's going to show me used and unused here, and it'll additionally show me covers if there are any under the catalog numbers I selected.
You showed a dealer page with 3 stamps in it. Would this be the best way to sell sets to avoid the time taken to fill out a detailed sheet for single stamps?
Well, we do have members who sell sets on the StampStore. I wish I could find some here. Yeah, because you can sell they'll sell even complete sets. Things you see in the Scott catalog that says sets, you can sell them. Or if I want to sell my 63, 64, and 65 as a set, and that's what I want to do because they will possibly sell best that way. Yeah, you can sell them as a set, and you just, when you mount them, just space them out a little bit so a person can see what you have there and describe it as such, and we put them in as sets. So you can sell sets on the StampStore.
Have you thought about offering box lots or collections through StampStore?
We do not offer the box lots or collections through StampStore because it would be a little difficult to have a return policy for those because we've had a lot of people ask the question if they want to sell the inherited collection they just received. But for us to send albums out with stamps in or large lots like that, if a person would get it, we have a 30-day return policy. If they returned it, and if they happen to take a few items out, we would have no way to take pictures of absolutely everything was in there. So if half the items were missing, we would end up being responsible for that. So at this point, we do not sell the larger lots or a full collection.
Are there items you don't need? For example, I have tons of plate blocks and first day covers.
That's a little difficult. I mean, Not really. I mean, we encourage anybody, they can, if you have items to sell, what I would probably recommend you do first is go out on the search page and search around for a few of the items that you're thinking about selling and look them up, look them up by country, the Scott number, whatever, and look them up, see what we have available. And if you see that we already have 100 of them sitting there, right now might not be the best time to send it in, or maybe you have some that are in better condition than the other ones are out there. So it's really, you just got to kind of look and see what's out there. And if you have better material, yours might sell before somebody else's.
Don't you have somewhere on a web page the types of items, or at least where the nations are that you sell the most of by month?
Yes, back over. I'm going to take you back over to the buy and sell page. Again, under services, buy and sell. If you go to how to sell online, on this page over on the right hand side, we have some links here. One of them is StampStore frequently asked questions. That's a good place to go because it actually just answered that question about selling collections. But under there as well, there is a monthly sales report link, which will take you in, kind of tells you how we're doing for the months. As you can see, we're doing very well over the last May, June, July with the pandemic. Online sales has really gone up. But over on these other two columns, you can see StampStore What's Hot. It tells you our top 5 countries. Then if you click on the all country sales for July, it's going to bring up a PDF and it is going to show you everything we've sold. They're Ireland, they're showing Ireland, we've sold 87 stamps, Fiji, how many we sold. And then even with the what's hot under the US Scott catalog numbers, shows you what we sold the most of for each of those. And that also has a PDF there as well. So there are some reports that can guide you. And there's also another report at the very, very bottom, items available for sale by country. If you click on that, it's going to tell you, not specifically by Scott catalog numbers, but it will give you a general idea, how many items we currently have for sale in these specific areas. So we do have some reports that'll give you some information. And again, that's loaded in the buying and selling area.
And the last question we have time for is back to the question someone asked about selling books through the system. Okay. This person wants to know, is there a way to describe books to the members and sell them through StampStore?
Not through the StampStore, not at this point, no. Mm-mm.
I could say that I know that you can contact the library and they do some of that business.
They do, and I think even in the Philatelic Literature Review, they let people put, I'm pretty sure they let them put little classified ads in that they are letting people know that they have books for sale. So definitely reach out to the library if you're looking to buy or sell some philatelic literature. Definitely reach out to Scott Tiffany in the library.
So with that question and answer, we will now conclude this session of APS Talks. Thank you, Wendy Masorti, for this very informative session. And thanks to all of you for attending today's virtual stamp show seminar. And the American Philatelic Society welcomes all stamp collectors to the virtual stamp show. If you're not already a member of the APS and are interested in joining, we have a great offer. Go to stamps.org/join now and enter the code VSS 2020 on your membership application. You'll receive APS membership through December of 2021. And this offer is available to new members only. So don't forget to look at other virtual stamp show offerings that may be of interest to you. Thank you again and enjoy the rest of the 2020 Virtual Stamp Show.